Despite the Warden now being released already to the game of Minecraft, there's still a lot more information to talk about and a lot more news to go over. In this case, we've got some official new behind the scenes thought processes and information surrounding the Warden from King B Dogs. With that being said, drop the video a like if you go on to enjoy it, and let's dive right into the video. So everyone, as I said, we've got some very interesting information to go over today from King B Dogs surrounding the Warden. Now, I'm sure you all know what the Warden is by now. I'm not really going to explain it, and we've already had good in-depth looks as to this mob in the recent snapshots and betas, but in a very recent tweet from King B Dogs, we did get some awesome information. This was tweeted on April the 27th and was in response to someone that did ask what was the thought process on finally giving the Warden a drop after previously being heavily against it. In response to this, King B Dogs did publicly reply, saying the key is that the Warden should never drop something that is important or hard to get that would be worth going through the trouble of fighting it. In this case though, fighting a Warden is not worth a Sculk Catalyst. This change is only made for renewability, farms and tech players. This is obviously in response to the Warden dropping a Sculk Catalyst. King B Dogs does argue that this specific change is made for renewability, so for tech players and for farms, and this is something that's very interesting. Sculk Catalysts have almost become this very key important feature to Minecraft, where many technical players, redstone players, builders are thinking of uses for them which are crucial to the game, and I appreciate that Sculk Catalysts will drop for renewability purposes, but everything else in Minecraft does not generate that way. If you want something like a cactus, which can be very hard to find, you may have to travel thousands of blocks to find one, so on and so forth. There's so many other examples in Minecraft, but it's pretty interesting that this is kind of a one-off case scenario, and I do not understand the argument that the Warden should not drop something that's important. It's a bit like how the Elytra can only be found in the end, and shulkers drop shulker pieces to build a shulker box, which are very important to Minecraft. Also with the skeletons, which drop with the skulls, which can summon the wither, which can drop a nether star, which is very important for building beacons. I just do not understand where the line is and where the line is drawn exactly. I would really appreciate it if a developer over at Mojang or someone else came out and did define this line and said what it is, but at the moment Mojang are being deliberately vague. I feel, in my opinion, that they do not want to promise too much but also too little. They just say there's like a line they do not want to cross and do not want important things to drop from dangerous mobs, although that is completely not the case, and I actually believe it should be the opposite. Further down, King B Dogs did also comment this, saying for most players, exploring the world and finding Sculk Catalyst naturally will be far easier than setting up a farm. Some people are rightly frustrated about this, saying if people go through the effort to defeat the Warden, why should they get very little reward for this? And it's something I do kind of agree with. In Minecraft, I always dream about one day being able to construct a full, powerful beacon in the centre of my Minecraft world. That is always my dream, but it never really happens. It's just something that helps you set a goal in your mind and strive towards it. Without any of those goals or any of those ambitions, a game is not a game, and at the moment it seems like Minecraft do not really understand that, or Mojang do not really understand that. They added this extremely powerful mob and kind of did not know what to do with it, and this further shows by the rewards they're adding to the Warden, which it actually drops. It seems like Mojang have just lost all of this knowledge they picked up from previous updates, where players do like these extremely powerful items and rewards, and people do like to go after these powerful mobs. It's just like Mojang do not fully appreciate that. Mojang think that by giving the Warden very bad drops, it will kind of go against that argument where people say, well, the Warden's dangerous and not everyone will want to fight it. Maybe if Mojang went in the opposite direction and made the Warden drop something extremely valuable or powerful, it would encourage players to learn about the Warden and overcome that fear and actually want to seek it out and defeat it. Maybe Mojang shouldn't be doing the opposite, where they're kind of protecting the player base a bit like babies. Rather, they should encourage them to explore their fear and to go against the Warden, even though at first they may find it scary. Of course, this is my personal opinion coming into it, and everyone that comments this, it will be their opinion also, but I just believe that's a bit of a better mindset to put into the players, rather than saying, oh, the Warden's difficult and if you do not want to go after it, that is fine. I think it would be awesome if they did add some kind of incentive to fight the Warden, because at the minute it seems like they've added a mob, very little reward to fighting it, not really doing too much down there. What's the reason to go after it? It just goes with that argument even better. Those people that do not like the Warden will now not like it even more. I think if Mojang added more purpose to the Warden and justified its addition to the game, it would make those people like the Warden a bit more, but it just seems like Mojang are really unsure about what they want to do with the Warden at the moment. To be completely real about this, I just wish Mojang would completely rethink the Warden. I think it's awesome the way it lurks around deep below in the deep dark and around the ancient cities, but as I've saw many people concerned about, it will be quite easy to just randomly stumble upon the Warden. Mojang play around with this and experiment with this a lot in survival, but the majority of the time in creative, so I feel like Mojang do not understand the risk they're adding to the game of players just stumbling upon the Warden and just dooming themselves to dropping all their loot. And as I said, the community is a bit upset with Mojang at the moment. There's just a ton of these changes happening recently which are kind of turning the community against each other, and at the moment there's two sides, the people that love the Warden and the people that don't. But I think everyone could agree that it's a bit of a waste of potential to add this incredibly powerful mob, basically the boss of all bosses in Minecraft, and to just give it very lackluster drops. I would love it if the Warden dropped something awesome, because then it would incentivize me to go after it. Sorry if I keep comparing Minecraft to Terraria a lot, especially in previous videos, but yeah, it's for good reason I compare Minecraft to Terraria. Just in case you do not know, Terraria is basically Minecraft's closest competitor, has been for a very long time. They've even shouted each other out, done little Easter eggs, things like that, and currently Terraria is the most highly reviewed game on Steam, which is awesome. Obviously people love this game to bits, and one thing Terraria does a very good job of is separating the bosses from the regular mobs, and I feel like what Mojang have done here is completely shattered that divide with the Warden. Previously there were the kind of like the nobody mobs, like the zombie, the skeleton, the spiders. There were tons of them around the Minecraft world and they were basically very easy to defeat, and then there were the bosses. The Ender Dragon had its own dimension, the Wither was constructed and built from skulls of mobs which can only be found in a certain dimension. There was in the end the Elder Guardian, where the player had to actively seek it out. And now there's the Warden, which is just kind of lingering around idly in the overworld until the player stumbles upon it. I understand that it's very similar to the Elder Guardian, but as people have pointed out many times, it is much easier to accidentally stumble upon the Warden. Let me know your thoughts about this down below in the comments. Been me, ItzJhief. Have an amazing day and I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.